All right, sounds good. Hi, everyone. Emma here. I'm product lead at Polywrap. Recently, at Polywrap, we've been working on this product called PolyGPT, and I'm here to share a little bit about what PolyGPT is and what problem we are trying to solve. So let's dive in. For PolyGPT, basically, it's an AI agent with on-demand capabilities. Uh, to elaborate, first, let's go into what is the problem space we are dealing with. So currently, the agent, like today, when you look at the agents like AutoGPT or BabyAGI, if you use any of those, the constraint that these agents have is they can only do the functionalities that they are pre-built with. Uh, so let's basically walk through an example, right? So let's say you're in AutoGPT and write a prompt of like, okay, give me 200 words summary, let's say on Vitalik, and then save it as a file. If you were to do this, first of all, you would first, to set up your AutoGPT, you're going to go and pre-install web scraper command, and then you're also going to go pre-install file system command, which let's call them functions, right? So you would have these functions pre-installed, then you'll go write this prompt in AutoGPT, and it's going to go scrape and give you the summary, write the file. So great, it does this for you. But now let's say as you did this and you read the summary and you saw what was going on and you got more curious and you're like, oh, actually, I'm curious, what is Vitalik actual wallet address? And like it's Vitalik ETH is his ENS, and then also like how much ETH it has. So what's going to happen at this point? AutoGPT kind of breaks for you, and you can get around it by doing manual stuff. Like you can manually go and first find what are the functions for ENS, what are the functions for ethers, and then go pre-install them. Or worst case, if they don't exist, then you have to go write those functions, be a developer, then go pre-install them. And then you're going to come back, start from scratch, and then you would potentially be able to go through this whole prompt. So it sounds kind of tedious. It's something which like you have to preemptively know which commands you're going to need and pre-install them. So to solve this problem, this is where we have PolyGPT coming in. And the main value prop we have is that that PolyGPT is able to learn new functions on demand. And what it really does is that you don't have to go pre-install commands. You basically are going to set up your PolyGPT. It will have commands installed, whatever the basic module that we have. But then apart from that, we also have this whole wrapped library, which is dynamic on the back end, right? So you can contribute towards it. And we have the community that contributes towards it. So it's just like ever growing ecosystem. And just once that you have installed it, this PolyGPT now can always go reference that wrap library that we have and learn the functions on demand. As and when you put the prompt in, you'll be like, oh, okay, let me go check this library. Go check. There is a function which solves for you. It's going to come back to you and be like, hey, I know a function. Should I learn it? You'll be like, yeah, go ahead, learn it. And then it's going to continue that instead of you having to kind of halt and go and pre-install. So that's basically the whole part we have here. I wanted to quickly show you the demo of this exact example so you can see just on the screen how it comes through. So let's say you install PolyGPT, start your PolyGPT, and then we first start with that basic prompt, which I talked about in the beginning, to write a 200-word summary about a topic, and then save it into the file. So far, I think AutoGPT is also very good in doing this, and it would be fine. So this is where we are doing exactly same what AutoGPT would do. So it's thinking, it's going, basically doing the web scraping aspect at this moment. I'll just let you watch. Sweet. So it does that, and then it's asking you about the file system. Can it learn the file system function? So you say yes, sure. So now it's learning the file system function, which basically is going to enable it to save that summary to the file called vitalik.md. There you go. So it goes, it does that. Now it's writing that file in there, and then the assistant kind of just gives you the success message that it has done. And AutoGPT is also very easily able to do things up to this stage if you have pre-installed the commands. But now we give the second command here, as you can see, that is to go now look at the ENS of Vitalik and then give it the wallet name and the ETH. And even though this command, this ENS function was not available, it's asking you that, can I learn it? And when you say yes, it basically is learning it from the existing library that exists. And then after it learns, it goes, executes, and brings in the address name. And then right after that, it does similarly same thing. Also for Ether's wrap, as you can see right now, it's asking you if you can learn Ether's wrap. So you're going to go ahead and say yes. And it learned the Ether's wrap. And now it's going, checking the price, how many ETH does that given wallet address has, and then giving you the value out. So now you can see at the end, you have that Vitalik's wallet address is this, and then this is how many ETH it has. So that's how that's exactly how PolyGPT works. And as I mentioned briefly previously, it's like highly dependent on this wrap library that we have on the backend, which is basically a community ecosystem from PolyWrap. We are adding new wraps in it, maintaining it. We also have community based contribution towards it, so anyone can go, it's open source, so anyone can go add new wraps, add new functions into it, and it will be able to make PolyGPT, whoever is using PolyGPT, dynamically pull in those functions to learn. So yeah, that's my presentation. And then for call to action, if you all think this is super interesting or like curious about it, we have the code base and demo on GitHub. So click on the link, try out how it works, try other functions which might not be in there, pull it in. If you have any questions while you do so, ping us on Discord or follow us on Twitter. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for that. It's really cool. And I'm glad you were able to get a demo in. I love it when there's a demo. So we can take some questions, which, yeah, as I said before, I'll read them out so the people watching the replay will know what the question was as they hear the answer. I also have been able to use this cool feature where I put the question on screen, which I hadn't used before, but that worked quite well. So while we wait for some of those questions, I'm curious if maybe you could talk a little bit more about the community library of wraps. I thought that was really cool. Like what's in there,
yes.
like how do you incentivize people to contribute, those kind of things.
Yeah, so we are very early actually. This is proof of concept, and we are using polywrap technology as the fundamental, like the wraps that we use, which makes it super modular. So far we have ethers, ENS, as you saw, like the file system, HTTP, and web scraping. So like we have around 10-ish commands right now. We only started working on it 2 to 3 weeks back, so super fresh. But yeah, our idea is basically as we share with more folks, we want to continue adding more and more commands within that library.
Awesome. Cool. So we have some questions from our viewers. We have Oak asks, what have you used PolyGPT to do so far?
Yeah, so I think like, but as one of the examples I was mentioning here, but the whole concept for us is that we are actually building this another product called Unblock. We haven't launched it officially yet, but we are going to be able to use this on-demand learning functionality, basically, to be able to learn and go and do anything that you want. And the biggest, like, just think about like simple things, which we also tend to kind of practice or like do use cases around, is like, if you want to send out emails, right? Like right now, it would just be like, it can craft an email for you, but it's not going to like connect and send an email unless you go and pre-install the command. So we're just trying to do that, how you don't have to go pre-install commands every time you need something, versus you just go type what you need and then it finds it for you. So that's basically the main part.
Cool. Okay, so I have another one. This is from Richie, who asks, have you used AI agents to interact with some of your Web3 wrappers?
Yeah, we have used AutoGPT to interact with our Web3 wrappers. It kind of works, but I think, yeah, I think like it works fine. The main part that the gap, and I think that's how we figured this gap out, was when we were trying these AI agents, was that to use our wraps, we would have to go and pre-install those commands for the wraps to be available in a given agent. Yeah, but for PolyGPT, basically, you can also still use the wraps, but you don't have to pre-install anything. It can be just on demand.
Cool. Okay, we have another one. Is this or will this be distributed or decentralized?
Yes, great question. We are very early, but it is going to be completely open source. So everyone and anyone is welcome to try. It is currently open, so like feel free, go try it out. If you want to fork it, make your own version, feel free to do that.
Awesome. Okay, something I like to ask recently has been, what are you really excited about? And this could be about what you've talked about today, or maybe you could go a little bigger picture towards the theme or even larger.
I think like I'm actually very excited about this particular use case, because for me personally, it was a very big pain point that every time you need to use AI agents, it was like such a blocker and so time consuming that you start doing something and then in the middle of it you're like, oh, I need this command, and not only you go install, you have to basically do all the steps from step one all over again and then get to that point. So I think this particular project could be very exciting from even the aspect of discovery, and then aspect of if you want to do long executions of an idea or theme that you're looking for, how to not get blocked and have to go and reinstall all of the things. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love that answer. Anything we can do to make this stuff easier to use, where you don't have to break the flow, I think it's going to be really key to having, yeah, I mean, the focus of our event here is autonomous agent applications. And so we want to think about what are the end user applications. And if you have something, yeah, where you have to stop and completely start over again, one, it's frustrating, but it also is going to slow down innovation. People will get frustrated and they won't contribute, for example, to like your community repository things when they first experiment with it is too hard to use, or it's too frustrating, or just, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Anything else you want to mention? So you already shared where we can follow you and these projects. Is there anything else you want to mention before I bring up our next speaker?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I would definitely urge everyone to check it out, and we love feedback since we are so early stage. So as you use it, please share feedback.
Awesome. Okay, Emma, thank you very much. That was really cool.
Yep, thank you. Bye.